man.
All right, we're live. We don't have any viewers yet, but that's fine.
You think that's going to change in an hour? I don't.
Thanks all of you who are retroactively watching this.
Yes. Kyle's catching the end of the Pacer-Cav game.
All right, so thanks everybody who's tuning in. Oh, yeah, we just jumped up to 20 viewers. So thanks everybody for tuning in. So what we're going to do here is we're basically going to simulate being the war room that takes place. That sometimes they show the war room cam and the discussions that go on, but it won't be as much of a dictatorship as it usually is on draft day, where Tom Telesco's making the call. We're all going to just kind of talk it out and make our pick. And if we come to a tie, if we can't break a tie, if two of us really want some guy and the other two really want a guy, or if all four of us just really want our guy and we're not budging, we'll let everybody who's watching, we'll let you guys in the chat make the final call. So starting off, for those of you who don't know, I'm Matthew Stanley. You can find me on Twitter at BoltFan in Denver.
I am at Garrett Sisti. I'm Garrett, and shout out to Michael Peterson, who can't be here today. R.I.P. He's at Chargers lately. And quick shout out to Posey, who made it here today. I know he took his little time out to his break from KOD. I know he had an all-day listening session today, so to give us an hour is very generous of him. So shout out to Kyle for doing that for us.
As I was listening to KOD last night, I was just like searching the songs on Twitter, and there's so many puppets. This guy he could say, "I just vacuumed my house," and people would be like, "Oh my God, it's the deepest thing ever."
Yeah, go tears, literal tears.
Yeah. When J. Cole said, "I vacuumed my house," that shit hit me. I'm Kyle Posey. I am at KP_show. Don't follow me because you're not going to stay
around. I'm Daniel Stebbins at DStebbs on Twitter. Also from Bolton the Blue.
All right, and before we get started, what is everybody drinking? Stebbins?
Samuel Adams Cold Snap.
All right, Garrett, what are you drinking?
Jack and Coke. I was told we were going to go hard tonight, so my war room drink of choice is Jack and Coke today.
All right, Kyle, what's your daughter drinking?
She actually has Maker's Mark. I am taking it easy. Yeah, I have a Corona. We'll see what tonight.
All right, and I am drinking pineapple juice and rum. I'm actually drinking Lead Slinger's rum. It's a veteran-owned company, pretty awesome. Go check it out if you can find it in your local store. All right, so let me share my screen here now. All right, so all of you will be happy to know you don't get to look at my face anymore. When I'm talking, it will be this screen, which is the FanSpeak draft simulator. This is the premium version, grades and stuff. So what's going to happen here is we are in control of the Chargers, and once I hit start, it'll start auto picking players for the other teams. We're using the FanSpeak player ranking board and the FanSpeak fan voted team needs. So based on their board and the team needs for each of the teams, it's going to make automatic picks. And then once it gets down to our pick, sometimes the computer may propose a trade for us. If that happens, we'll discuss it. We're not going to make any trades tonight. And once it gets to our pick, we're going to start a timer. We're going to do 5 minutes for each pick and take 5 minutes to discuss who's still on the board and who we want. All right, you guys ready?
Well, I think before we start, we got to give a top 5, right?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Like who's everybody's top 5 targets at 17? Like realistic.
Why don't you go first, Garrett?
Oh, okay. So, if we're taking Derwin off the board, and I know that's going to make KP upset, but if we're taking Derwin off, number 1 for me is Lamar Jackson. I've said it all draft season long. I think he's the perfect fit. I think he's NFL ready, but I think still needs some refinement with his footwork. And sitting a couple years behind Rivers, I think is a perfect bridge for when Rivers does retire. Lamar can get stuck right in. 2 for me is Rashaan Evans. I just think he can play multiple linebacker spots, probably the best fit, probably is Sam in the Charger system. But if Roquan's off the board, Rashaan Evans is the next linebacker up. 3rd, I think, is Mo Hurst. I know that he's more of a 3-tech, and that might not be the biggest position in need with Legit restructured his contract and Phylon having a good season last year. But the kid's a playmaker. I'm a huge fan of Maurice Hurst, and I think the next guy on my board, Vita Vea, is 4, only because I think there's a lot of good defensive tackle options later. So Vita Vea is 4, obviously in a tier of his own for me. And 5 might be a little surprising, but I like Isaiah Wynn still. Like, I know everybody's projecting him as a guard, and they've got Lamp and Feeney and Pouncey this offseason, but I think, going into camp and having Lamp and Wynn compete for a right tackle spot, I mean, that's probably your best offensive lineman on the board at that spot at 17. I don't think it's McGlinchey or Connor Williams for me. So, Lamar Jackson, Rashaan Evans, Mo Hurst, Vita Vea, Isaiah Wynn are my 5.
All right, Kyle, what's your top 5?
I don't. Okay, should I do this? Because I feel like if I do, I give it away, and I feel like this is a trap that Garrett set up just to begin with.
Okay, so all right, so you don't give a top 5, but go ahead and explain what you're talking about here, and kind of why we got the idea to do a top 5.
Yeah, so I mean, today I just got some news. We'll call it nuggets, and they basically said that at 17, 17 has come down to 5 guys, and the 5 guys who I will not say, but it's fairly obvious who they are. It's at a high position of need. Each of the 5 picks are. What else can I give away?
Okay, not to say it.
I know.
I can see it.
Okay, so all 5 players are very obvious. It'll be no shock. There will be no Garrett Bowles. There will be nothing like that. I will say this, so this will cut some names. How about this? In the 5, they will be able to contribute right away.
Is it more defense or more offense?
Not gonna answer
that.
All right. So we're cutting quarterbacks off the board, huh? Tough.
What else? All these players are projected to, like, let's just say if they were the pick at 17, most big media or national media would just be like, yeah, that's a good pick, just because these are the players that are being selected to go. So I mean, it's fairly obvious who these 5. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, Stebbins, what's your 5?
All right. So number 1 is Lamar. Been loving Lamar Jackson for 2 seasons now. Love what the guy can do. Obviously, he's progressed quite a bit when it comes to the passing side, but what he can do with his legs is just something else, man. And going back to all the quotes that we've all talked about, as far as from Lynn, and if you don't have a quarterback who can run, you have a dying offense and things like that. It makes you, as Garrett said, can sit for a year or 2 behind Rivers last couple years of his career, and I think it'll make a lot of sense there. Especially as they've lost the fight for LA. Someone who could be exciting would be nice to have there. So my number 2 would be Hurst. I preface this, I am a Michigan fan. But I do think that Hurst would be great on the defensive line. I know that, like Garrett said, again, he's a 3-tech, but someone who can be that disruptive in the passing game is something that they don't have from the defensive tackle spot. Match that up with what they have on the edge, that'd be deadly. Isaiah Wynn, I also too think he can play tackle. I don't think he can be stuck at guard. Having that competition with Lamp for right tackle would be great. Watching Lynn, I actually liked another guard more than him, Will Hernandez. But at tackle, I think he could be a very good player. Number four would be Vita Vea. Again, having that replacement for Mebane. I think we all can agree that Mebane was not up to snuff last year. Replacing him would be would be an upgrade for sure with Vea. And then my number 5 is McGlinchey. Again, getting someone in that right tackle spot. Barksdale was not good. I know he had the broken foot, and a lot of people were talking about that as the reasoning as to why he maybe wasn't as good last season. But he also was constantly getting the false starts and things like that, and just issues that, can't have that happen that often. So I think McGlinchey would be a solid replacement for him at right tackle. Those are my top 5.
All right, and for me, mine, these aren't really in order, but like everybody said, I like Mo Hurst. I think he's more of a 3 technique, but he's the guy that they hoped Corey Liuget would be, and obviously isn't. Somebody who is really good in the run, but also can produce in the pass rush. He gets really good penetration, really good push. He's got really good burst off the line. So I really like Mo Hurst. I like Rashaan Evans. I think he's a very versatile player, and obviously Tom Telesco likes versatile is like his favorite word. He's a guy that can do a bunch in this system, and it would be nice to have an injection of more athleticism at the linebacker position. And linebacker is a big need, and I think guys like Vander Esch might be a little too much of a reach here for me. And so if they want to fill that hole linebacker, I think Evans is probably the guy, because I don't see Roquan falling that far, or Edmonds. I really like Isaiah Wynn, like you guys. I don't think he's pigeonholed into guard. And then I also like Connor Williams for the same reason. I don't think he could play either guard or tackle, and I think he'd do really well either. And then my 5th guy here is I got to go with Lamar, but he's my bottom guy. I think he would be good, but I would hate to have, especially after the last couple of years, I would hate to have a round 1 or 2 guy drafted and not be able to contribute, because they've been contribute right away, because that's been the theme the past drafts, is having a round 1 or 2 guy that can't come in right away and do something, whether that's injury or whatever. So yeah, there's my 5.
Okay. So Posey, can you give us our 5 without, if you take what you heard out of the equation?
So what I would say is about Wynn, they actually don't. They think that Wynn's going to fall, so Wynn's not in the top 5. What else should I say?
Well, what about like your favorite 5 at 17? What would yours be?
So, I mean, I like Lamar a lot. I mean, it's just the guys that I really wrote about. Lamar, Rashaan Evans, I like a lot. James, I like a lot. Hurst, I really, really like. I feel like just Hurst is the guy that would just complement like Ingram Bolson so well. But I mean, I don't like advocate for like the Paynes and the Veas, but I mean, I get that if that's the case, it makes sense because they need big bodies. Like their depth at DT is just not very good. It's just not. Like, what's his name? Who's the backup? What's his name?
Square?
What depth? I don't know what depth you're talking about.
The guy who backs up Legion, or who took Legion's spot.
Phylon. Yeah,
like Phylon is very good on a pitch count, but if you expect him to play 40, 50 snaps, he's not going to be the same player. It just is what it is. Like, he can be very good, but he's not going to be the same guy. You can't just extrapolate him and think he's going to play at that level at the full snaps. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see him, both of those guys replace this first 2.
All right. So I think we got to get base. Is everybody ready to get going here?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to hit start round, and the first 16 picks are going to tick off, and we'll see how this goes.
Here we go.
Oh.
3 quarterbacks.
Baker number 1.
I think it would be great news for us if there's 5 quarterbacks selected in the 4th second.
There goes Lamar number 12 to the Bills.
Ooh, Isaiah Wynn at 16. All right, so I'm going to hit start on a 5-minute timer, and we can talk about this. All right, so who's left on the board? We got Vita Vea. We've got Maurice Hurst, who a lot of us mentioned. We've got Will Hernandez, who came up. Connor Williams is still there.
So there's some people that really, really like Taven Bryan. What do you guys think about
I like Taven Bryan. I wouldn't be mad if he was there, but I would take Maurice Hurst and probably Vita Vea over Taven Bryan here.
Stebbs, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel the same. I liked Taven Bryan in short spurts. I felt like he really struggled with consistency. I know that was a similar issue with Chris Jones, and I know that in the NFL he's been able to overcome that. I think that could be a problem going forward with Taven Bryan, though. I know that he is a very athletic guy. Other than I can't remember which one. He tested badly in one thing, but everything else was great. But I really do question his consistency. There was way too much bad on the tape for me. The good was great, but there was some bad on there.
Wasn't he just kind of a one-year wonder? Like, didn't he only have really good stats for this last season?
I don't recall what his stats were, actually.
I could look that up. Garrett, what do you think, Taven Bryan?
So, I obviously, if we're taking a 3-tech here, I'd take Maurice Hurst. A guy, his get off is awesome. Like, he fires out of his stance. Like, every time, as soon as the ball snaps, it's like momentary havoc. But it just seems like he's got a lot of traits, but he just hasn't really put it all together yet. This is kind of your prospect to build on. And I think for that reason, his ceiling is probably high. But, I mean, as a 3-tech, I think it's going to need a year or two to develop. So that's not a guy I'm taking at 17. Not with like an NFL-ready Mo Hurst at 3-tech.
All right, so with who's on the board, Stebbins, who is your pick here?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My pick here would be Mo Hurst. I do like Vita Vea quite a bit. And I think that it's more of a dire need to replace Mebane than it is to replace Legit. Because like you guys talked about, Phylon is there behind Legit. But Mebane's bad. I think he's done. I think he's someone who needs to be replaced ASAP. Even with that, I think Maurice Hurst though is going to be the better guy. To pair him up with Bosa and Ingram. The pass rush is going to be deadly with him, and I think that going forward, I think he provides the better option, the more impactful option.
All right, Garrett, who you got?
I think it comes down to Vita Vea, Rashaan Evans, or Mo Hurst. I would pass on Vea here only because I think you can get some good DT01 techs in the second, third round with like Nadi, Tim Settles. Linebacker takes kind of a drop off, but I think I'm still going to go Mo Hurst here. Because I think, you're talking about an NFL-ready 3-tech, can take over for Legit. I know you're going to have to make up some ground here in the next couple rounds, but I'd take Mo Hurst. I think he's NFL-ready. And I think with Mo Hurst and then your bookends with Ingram and Bosa against the run and against the pass, I think Hurst offers it all.
All right. Who you got, Kyle? Can you hear us, Kyle?
Oh, we might have lost him during the count.
Oh, no, I think I got you, Kyle.
I don't know. Yeah, my volume just going on my bad. So, Taven Bryan last year had 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack. This year he had 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. Vita Vea actually, I thought his numbers were better than this. This year he had 5.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. And I mean, I'm not saying like that's it. Big thing is disruption is production, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's pretty important for you to be able to finish. Last year, Maurice Hurst had 11.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. This year, he had 13.5 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. So I think it's 2 pretty solid years of production. Man. I mean, it's better than a lot of guys have in 2 years. I would go Hurst. If we're just talking overall big picture, Legion's not going to be there for 4 games, and he's probably not going to be there after this year either. So you keep Phylon in that role that he's in. Honestly, Hurst gets in the backfield so quick, man, that like he beats pulling guards to the other side. Like, and your linebackers are going to be free. It's not like this big space eater, but your linebackers are still going to be free to be clean just because the other offensive linemen are worried about him in the backfield. So I would probably go Hurst. And that's really just best player available.
All right, there's the timer. So my final statement is I also like Maurice Hurst here. So it's pretty unanimous that we are taking Maurice Hurst.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter because it would be 3-1. We would have voted you.
Yeah. So, but
I think Rashawn Evans is probably your next best player there.
Yep. All right. So we'll do a 5-minute recap at the end of the round too, and we'll talk some more. So I'll go ahead and throw in the pick, and we'll see who else goes here. So Villa went 2 picks later, then Hernandez, Connor Williams. There goes Deron Payne. There goes Taven Bryan at 26.
And Chark has flown up the board. That's crazy.
All right, so
So
we'll kind of go over the first round a little bit right here. So the Broncos actually took Sam Darnold here, which, that's not too outside the window. I mean, you never know. Like John Elway could, do a line and then walk into the draft room and say demand a quarterback. The Raiders took Minka. That's a really good pick for them. They desperately need secondary help.
Drafting safety high for the third year in a row.
Hey, he's probably the safest safety they've taken.
Oh no, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying it's it's a bad look when you have to do it 3 years in a row.
Yeah, touche. And the Chiefs don't have a first-round pick, so that rounds out the AFC West. So at the end of the first round here, Taven Bryan went. Josh Sweet made the first round.
Wow, Sweat getting at the end of the first.
Evans to the Steelers is a perfect pick.
Yep.
Oh, look at that! Yeah.
The Saints are apparently using Posey's draft board.
Miller is such a Patriot too.
Yep, Colton. That's a match right there.
Yeah.
Replace
Tyquan Lewis.
right away.
Wait a minute. Did that just say Tyquan Lewis went in the first?
Yes. All right. So that's an outlier. Obviously, the computer reached a bit there, but I think this is a pretty good first round.
I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna be quite honest. And that guy went in the first. I didn't watch Lewis at all.
Out of Ohio State, I think.
All right. So
yeah, he went to Ohio State.
He did.
So at the start of the second round, we still got James Daniels is an interesting guy. Obviously not like a huge need for the Chargers at center, but it gives the Chargers a lot of flexibility if they wanted to do that. And obviously, Pulley's not the greatest. Safety.
Pulley's not the greatest, a.k.a. McDonald's isn't the healthiest.
$2 tenders though, man. I'm just saying.
All right, so we've got good safeties on the board. Justin Reed is still there. Jesse Bates is still there. Ronnie Harrison's not a bad pick. So there's some good second round safeties at linebacker. Van Der Esch is still there. Malik Jefferson. The Chargers met with him and went to the Texas Pro Day. I know Posey's a pretty big fan of Jerome Baker.
Yeah, I actually like Baker and Jewell. I think if you can get either one of those guys in the third round, that would be very nice. And obviously, you're just rolling the dice and hoping that they fall. But
yeah.
How do you feel about Fred Warner?
Is that the BYU dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think him and because I know people were hyping up him and I think it was the Memphis guy. And I don't know. I saw him. Yeah.
Gennady.
I saw them get swallowed up a lot more often, and I don't know. I would have liked for them to finish more often than they did. Basically, I just expected more from just the hype. A lot of guys, you watch a guy, you're in the prisoner of the moment. You say, "Oh, this guy's a top 50 player," and then you watch him, and then the hype just doesn't really match. So
I agree with the talk.
Go ahead.
I
was watching Warner actually earlier today, and I agree completely on Warner, man. He gets swallowed up a lot. Like, he would play against Wisconsin and LSU, and both games, he just disappeared numerous times, especially the Wisconsin game. Dude just got swallowed up and was just gone. There were times when he could shoot the gap really well, and some of his coverage skills are pretty decent, but I can't have someone who's just going to get taken out of place constantly. It happened way too much.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hype with him.
With Avery, I agree with the talk that he might be best suited if somebody turns him into a pass rusher and just puts him on the outside and lets him use his speed, because he does kind of get swallowed up in the middle, but man, he makes some really athletic plays on the edge.
Are either of those two better than Jatavis?
I love Jatavis, so I don't think so.
I think they're better than 2017 Jatavis. I don't think they're better than what we saw in 2016.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Avery I think is going to be an edge rusher, but I think Warner is two things. Like he's a really, really good tackler, like racked up a ton of tackles, but also he was like he lined up all over the place too, which versatility doesn't mean shit if you can't play football. So I think he's more of a third round guy. I mean, I've seen him hyped up like end of first, early second, but I wouldn't take him there.
And then for offensive tackles, we've got Tyrell Crosby on the board.
That's going to be the pick, by the way.
Orlando Brown's still there. He's probably still going to be there for a while. Posey, your guy Noteboom's still there. he didn't go in first.
Mike said he's the worst player ever.
Yeah, so we were talking, for those of you who don't have that reference, we were talking about Noteboom today. Posey's obviously a fan, and Michael Peterson, who couldn't join us tonight because he got his boss switched his shift. He said Noteboom's the worst prospect he's scouted this year.
I hope Mike has to work on Thursday night.
Yeah, so I mean, those are some third round line. So it sounds like the way we're talking is we're not really looking at a linebacker round 2.
Yeah, I think linebacker and unless Tyrell Crosby falls, I don't really like tackle in the second round either, based on who's here.
Defensive line.
So I mean, I think safety's good. Yeah, and so then we run into, I mean, Derek Nandi's there, Tim Settle's there, Harrison Phillips. If he falls, he's interesting to me. But taking Mo Hurst in the first, he's probably off the board.
Yeah, he is.
I think BJ Hill's interesting. He tested really well.
Yeah, I think in the second, looking at a guy like Justin Reed, that safety out of Stanford, and also Nadi or Settle would be 2 picks here if they fall.
Would you guys be opposed at any point, whether it's first and second and third too, like they did last year with O linemen, to double down on D tackle?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad at that. With who's left on this board, I would be more comfortable doing like a first and third, like Maurice Hurst in the first, and then in the third, a guy like Nandi or BJ Hill. I liked maybe even if you wanted to double down later, I don't think he's going to go as high as he's listed on this board, but I like RJ McIntosh from Miami. He's a fucking stud.
Mm-hmm. I think they got to get 2 defensive tackles.
Yeah, they need that 0-1 guy, and they need a 3-5 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that Nadi is typically taken in the third round, but I would not be opposed in the second round. I like him that much. I think he'd be that effective. Man, in the run game, he stops guys. Like you cannot get away from that dude. Like, absolutely love him. So I would actually take him in the second round. I'm not opposed at all, like you said, to doing double dipping into a position. I mean, it's needed. It's needed.
Garrett, who do you like here in the second?
So, like I mentioned, Justin Reed, I like Nadi here in the second. I don't mind. I got Nadi ahead of Settle, so I'd rather take Nadi in the second if he's not there and Justin Reed falls. I wouldn't mind taking Reed, getting your free safety of the future, and then also, getting to Settle later if you can.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and so we can start crossing some of these names off and see who's there.
I thought you already did that.
All right, so there goes Crosby. Vander Esch is off. There goes Malik Jefferson, Harrison Phillips, Nathan Shepard.
I don't think Jefferson's that good of a football player.
I don't like Jefferson at all.
He's athletic, but that's it.
In the third or fourth, I wouldn't mind him, but not in the second.
So I'll say this. If there was a sweep and I needed to pick a linebacker that, let's say Josie Jewell. So Josie ran like a 4.8, but he got better at the pro day. But then Malik ran like a 4.5 or a low 4.6. I would still trust Jewell to get there before Jefferson. Just from like an instinct football reading the play purpose. Yeah. He just does not play fast at all.
That's fair. All right, so still on the board. Like we mentioned, we have Justin Reed. So we'll go
Mason Rudolph, baby.
Is Rudolph really there?
Yeah, Rudolph's there.
Oh, God.
Okay, so if the Chargers might pull the trigger on that if he's there in a second.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but yeah, I think the Chargers very well could pull the trigger on Mason Rudolph. I think if you miss on the first top 4, not including Josh Allen, I think they should just punt the quarterback this year and wait another year for him.
They should wait until round 6 and then take my guy Logan Woodside.
No, because I think even Mason Rudolph, like, is any quarterback after Mason Rudolph and below, are they offering more than what Geno Smith or the upside of Cardell Jones is right now?
No, I mean, so who's still on the board here? We got Rudolph, we got Kyle Luletta, who has a noodle arm. You got Mike White, who a lot of people are hyping up, but I wasn't a huge fan of, and I'd rather trust them to develop Cardell a little more. Luke Falk, not a huge fan of. I mean, I love Logan Woodside, but he's not a guy you want starting more than 2 games in a season.
I honestly think I have a stronger arm than Luke Falk.
No, I wouldn't touch quarterback at all. If you're not going to get the top, your top guy in the first round, I wouldn't even touch it. Yep. I wouldn't mess with it.
All right, so safety, we've got Ronnie Harrison, Justin Reed, Jesse Bates is still there. Linebacker, we've got Jerome Baker, we've got Fred Warner, Josie Jewell's still there. Micah Kaiser's a name I've seen thrown around a little bit.
I've seen Jack Stinch's name come up in the second and third round before too.
Yeah,
I know he's down there in this one, but
yeah, and he's got injury concerns, and the Chargers have enough injury concerns at linebacker that I'm not a huge fan of that.
People really like that Darius Leonard dude. Have you guys watched him at all?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
People have hyped him up. I mean, he's plays fast. He's a lower level guy, but I mean, he looks like he's solid. I've watched a little bit of him.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a little of Sky Moore, like maybe a 3rd round guy, because he's really getting coverage, but not here.
Yeah, I think it's too early for a lot of these guys. I think the linebacker, the 2nd round Malik Jefferson, the Warners, like, I would rather pass on those guys and wait for other guys.
Hope somebody drops in the 3rd.
Yeah, even Micah Kaiser.
Jefferson went to the Dolphins at the 10th pick there, so.
Yeah, I'd rather go with the next tier, like Josie Jewell. I like Tigray Scales. Sitchy isn't bad if you're looking later. Take a swing on him. But I wouldn't look at a linebacker here in the 2nd.
All right, and then if we want to double down on D-line, Settle's there, Nandi's there. Deshaun Hand is a name that's been thrown out. He's there. BJ Hill's there. So
how about running back?
Running back. All right, we got Michael's there. Rashad Penny's there. Nick Chubb's there.
He couldn't help it.
Those good names. You could really piss off all the San Diego people and go with Penny.
Oh shit!
Can we just go down the running back list and see who's better than Melvin Gordon?
How long we got? What wide receivers are left?
All right, so wide receiver, DJ Moore's there.
Oh, Calvin Ridley's still
there.
Fuck.
Who's over 6'2" and slow and can't catch?
Yeah.
Anthony Miller. I like Anthony Miller quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Dion can't. I mean, we got some. There's a Clemson wide receiver on the board. We drafted 2 last year.
Yes.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Dante Pettis, I think he's gone kind of under the radar a little bit. I know that he's not necessarily the best wide receiver, but his return ability is crazy too.
Anyone is a better punt returner than Travis Benjamin.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a wide receiver here either. Even Calvin Ridley's still on the board.
Yeah, Deshaun Hamilton waiting in a couple rounds. So.
All right, so let's start this off. Stebbins, who is your pick?
I said it before the round started. I would absolutely take Nadi here. I am a big fan of his. I know that a lot of people have him in the 3rd round, like I said, but I would absolutely take him in the 2nd without hesitation.
All right, Garrett, who you got?
Yeah, I think it's down to Nadi and Justin Reed. I think I'm taking Justin Reed here only because I think with Nadi still on the board and Set on the board and some other defensive tackles you might be able to get later, I think Justin Reed is the best player on the board probably here. And, played a lot of deep middle, near line of scrimmage, covered the slot. With the Chargers going more nickel dime, I think Reed is the perfect chess piece as an extra DB. That versatility, I know he plays special teams. I'm a fan of Justin Reed, so I would take Reed here.
Kyle, who you got?
Just for a lot of the reasons that he said. I'd pass on Nadi just because in the second round, I still think you have to get somebody that just gives you some sort of consistent pass rush, man. And that is the knock on Nadi. Like, he flashes every now and then, and I honestly think he's the best run defender at the position, but he's just not bringing much to the pass rush table. And with Reed, man, you can honestly play him in Trey Boston's role. You can play him in Adias' role. You can play him in Phillips' role. You can play him in Perriman's role here and there if you want to. You can honestly play him wherever you want to. And he just makes you faster, man. You're fast on defense. He'll wrap you up. People think he can't tackle just because, like, this San Diego State tight end stiff-armed him to hell. So now everybody thinks he's like a terrible tackler. But this is one play, man. I think he's a really good player. He has – like, he can – everybody knows, like when teams go trips and they throw that deep post or whatever it is and it's a linebacker, like, Reed will be that guy, and he's going to get to that ball, man. I've seen him do it plenty of times. So. Just with what they want to do, man, I go Reed here. All
right, and for a lot of the reasons that have been said, I like Reed too. There's a lot of defensive tackles still on the board. There's a lot of guys that I like even later. I mean, you can get a lot of, like, I mean, if you're going to double down for that 0-1 technique, you can grab a guy like Puna Ford in the 4th or 5th round, and he's going to do fine. And safety has just it's been something that we've complained about for a long, long time. And to me, it's, I like Justin Reed offers a little more to me than Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates might have a little more upside just because of his size. And he does play that center field role a little bit better. But Justin Reed's a better tackler. Justin Reed can play closer to the line of scrimmage if you need him to. He doesn't make your defense as predictable. That's one thing that Trey Boston kind of makes. He's predictably that center fielder. Hey, Kyle, you just got super loud. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for all those reasons you guys have said, I totally agree. Justin Reed's an awesome player, and I would not hate that pick one bit. I'm someone who's talked about safety quite a bit. I think they should have addressed it last year as well. I think that's going to be a good pick. So. Yeah,
and he's been, I mean, they've got him 31 overall on this board. He's been shown in the first round a lot. If he falls to you at 31, I mean, at pick 16 in the second round, I think you run that card to the stage.
Yeah, and I think Ronnie Harrison is probably in the conversation too. He showed the ability to play deep at Alabama, but I think he's much better in the box, where he can kind of like utilize his athleticism in the run game, kind of get some favorable matchups with tight ends. So while Ronnie Harrison's a good player and really, really good value there, Justin Reed the better fit in terms of a versatile DB piece you can add to Gus Bradley's nickel dime packages.
Yep. All right, so we're locking it in. Justin Reed's the pick.
People keep mocking Jesse Bates to them, and I think if Harrison and Reed are on the board, I think he's just going to go pedigree over everything. I just don't get the vibe that he's going to take a guy from Wake Forest that early, amongst other things that Bates lacks at. But if there's a guy that went to Bama or Stanford, I think he's going to take that guy.
Yeah. All right, so after the Chargers pick, Nwosu went the pick after the Chargers. He's a guy that a lot of people have been linking with the Chargers. They've met him multiple times. They brought him out for their local pro day. I didn't like him in the second round. If he's still there in the third round, I don't hate that pick. What do you guys think of Nwosu?
He ain't good, man. He ain't that
good. All right, and then Ronnie Harrison went. Ooh, Rashad Penny went in the second round there.
Oh, Baker's gone.
DJ Moore went. Calvin Ridley finally went. Carolina Panthers. They need wide receivers.
They definitely do.
Mason Rudolph to the Steelers.
The Bills took Orlando Brown. Poor offensive line. All right, so Jerome Baker went. He's off our board. Mason Rudolph, thank you, Pittsburgh Steelers.
When I watched Ohio State last year, I thought Baker was better than Raekwon.
Okay.
Damn.
That's high praise.
Like there was probably better talent around him, but he was very, very good in 16.
All right, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and hit the start round and get us to our picks, so then we don't have to talk about names that aren't going to be there this time.
Tony Michelle to the Niners.
Hoping Noddy falls here.
Oh, Nick Chubb to the Broncos. I would not like to see that happen.
Right?
Ooh, Tim Settle just went. Did Noddy go?
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
Noddy's still available.
Noddy's still there. All right, so it's our pick.
Well, there we go.
All right, so
Woo!
Got him anyway.
let's just do a general conversation first, then we'll give our pick. So Noddy's still there. We obviously have brought up his name a lot. We brought it up last round. Sean Hand's still there. Who else we got? Dante Pettis. He's there in the third.
Give us the tackles.
Go to the linebacker.
Offensive or defensive?
Oh, offensive. Sorry.
Okay, so offensive tackles.
Core of 4.
Nah, man.
A lot of day 3 guys.
Now what about linebacker for Posey?
All right, so linebacker, Fred Warner's still there. Darius Leonard's still there. Kaiser's still there. Josie Jewell's still there. Avery's still there. Sitchy's still there. Sky Moore's still there.
Looks like we're taking a Hawkeye round 5 again, baby.
Any other position anybody wants to look at?
Running back.
Yeah.
Running back. John Kelly's there. Hines is still there. Balaj is there.
Hines, man.
Yeah, me too.
There's some good names there.
This next round. I know we're in 3, but
This next one is going to be some debate, I think. Yeah.
All right, so this is probably going to go quick, but Stebbins, give us your quick pick here.
I would have taken him in the second. I'll take him now. So third, Derek Noddy.
All right, Garrett.
Pretty easy.
yeah, man, this is an easy pick. You got to stop the run. Derek Noddy, the best run defender on the board. Maybe, one of the best in this draft. You got to take him since he's there.
All right, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do agree with him just because we're getting to the point where, I mean, we can still get a guy that will give you plenty of quality snaps. He can transition Mebane out the damn door, and you're still getting good value at this point too. It's not like you're getting a guy that's a bad football player. Noddy's a very good football player, so it makes a lot of sense.
That front 4, man. I mean, Bosa, Ingram, Noddy, and Hurst. That's, man.
Yeah, you're building strengths right now.
Yep.
What are you going to do against
inside out, unlike the Chargers have done for years?
Yeah, and it allows you to push a position like linebacker down in the draft, because when you build a front that strong, I mean, Kyle could go play linebacker and probably grab 20 tackles.
Real quick before you click OK, can you check the safeties out? If we had gone my route, seeing Noddy in that, I want to see who we would have had as an option here.
All right, so we've got Armani Watts, Terrell Edmonds, Kazir White.
Good call with Reed. All right, let's go on.
Yeah, that dropped off real fast.
Steps, who were you thinking that would fall? Like, who would you?
I don't know. I think I just really, really love what Noddy does, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Big fan of his. I think I want him on the team, and so if it means taking it around early, I'm okay with that. So.
All right, so Derek Noddy.
Yeah, we kind of dodged a bullet there by taking a safety there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I mean, if we finished day 2 with Maurice Hurst, Justin Reed, and Derek Noddy, I would be, well, first I'd be drunk. Secondly, I'd be real happy.
It was a core of 4.
All right, so after our pick, Darius Leonard went, Terrell Edmonds went. Who else were we looking at? Deshaun Hand finally went.
Sean Dion Hamilton going to the third.
Simi Cobbs went. All right.
Kamoko Ture, so people like him. He just went in the third also.
So we got, what do we got left here? We got tackle we still need. We got linebacker. Running back is probably on the board here.
Yep.
Any positions we're outright avoiding?
I think wide receiver you can avoid for now.
Quarterback, I think pretty obviously we're going to avoid that right now.
Yeah. If you don't go quarterback in the first, you avoid.
Any tight ends?
Defensive line. I mean, you're done there now with taking 2 already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you could skip probably tight end and maybe even edge at this point. Although edge it's moved up my board a little bit since they for whatever reason, decided not to keep McCann around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, none of these guys I'm gonna like pound the table for.
I've seen Hercules fall to the spot, but he's not there now.
Is Fitz from Utah? Is that the guy that
they worked out? Yeah.
Yeah, they worked out Fitz, and I know Michael Peterson really likes him. All right, so all right, so I went ahead and hit go, and we'll see what happens here.
You guys are gonna go at it on Thursday.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be so fun.
Live for it.
Fred Warner just went to the Bengals.
All right, so it's our pick here. All right, so what position do we want to start looking at? Linebacker?
Tackle.
Yeah.
Linebacker
and tackle.
All right, offensive tackle. Will Richardson, Alex Kappa.
How good is Richardson?
Yeah, I didn't watch him.
Either of you two have any idea?
I haven't seen Richardson either.
I don't think I'd take him in round 4.
What about the Harrison dude? Like Harrison was a popular name for a while there. Did he go to the Senior Bowl?
I don't remember.
I remember seeing that name. Like
Desmond Harrison.
Somebody was hyping him up. Maybe it was Josh.
I mean, but if we're looking at tackle, I mean, like we've kind of mentioned a couple times, the Chargers have been like they looked at Tyrell Crosby, and we think they looked at Connor Williams at the pro day, and maybe McGlinchey at his pro day. But the only tackles they brought in for workouts are like late day 3 guys.
Yep.
So I mean, take that for what it's worth. Like they've thrown up smoke screens with their I think what was the article last year saying that basically they used those workouts to cross people off their board. But
tackle is not in their top 5.
Yeah. Ooh, there. All right, I'm gonna mark that down. Tackle not in their top 5.
Oh, all right.
That eliminates a few names.
Well, there you go.
Okay. No tackle,
no quarterback.
I told you guys it's gonna produce right away. They still have Barstow on the roster. No matter what you think of them, it's what they think.
All right, so linebacker. So linebacker, we've still got some pretty good names. I mean, Shaquem Griffin's there. We got to mention him. He's more of an edge guy than a linebacker to me.
Hell of a player.
Yeah, he's good. That's why I say just stick him at the edge and let him play like his hair's on fire and just attack. Micah Kaiser's there, Josie Jewell's there, Avery's there, Sitchy's there, Sky Moore's there. At running back, Hines is still there.
Ballage is going to be a really good receiving back.
Balaj, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
The Chargers have met with Will Richardson.
You said have not or have?
Have.
Can you go back to corner for a second?
It's like nobody.
Yeah, go back to corner.
Go back to corner? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the corners. We've got Troy Brown from Alabama.
We're going to have taken Tavarius McFadden.
That's Kyle's boy right there.
I know. He's going to pound the table for him in round 6. I see it already.
The girl sitting on my lap will beat him in a 40.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot there.
Like people at FSU, they know that he sucks. They knew that he sucks. Nothing that he did was a surprise, man. He just seniority. Like that's why he played.
All right, so we got Mo Hurst, Justin Reed, Derek Nottie. We're looking at linebacker, tackle.
I think linebacker is the best value on the board right now.
It's a pretty good draft. Oh my goodness.
What are you looking for a linebacker? Who are you looking at?
Give me running back real quick. Is Hines still there?
Hines is still there.
Yes,
Oof.
he is.
God.
All right, so Stebbins, who's your guy here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nyheim Hines. I know that they have Eckler. I know they like Eckler, but Nyheim Hines, man, he's a really special back. Getting him in the 4th adding him to that backfield. I mean, they have Gordon, they have Hines, and they have Hansbrough. I don't even know who that is. So I think adding him to that backfield would be really good.
All right, Garrett.
This comes down to 3 players for me. It comes down to Naheem Hines, Josie Jewell, and then probably Alex Kappa. And click on tackle real quick.
All right. So tackle. Yeah, there you go.
All right. So I'm going to go with Alex Kappa. I don't think there's many tackles you can take after this that are going to contribute. And Alex Kappa, I think, is going to need a year or 2 to sit. And when you've got a guy like Sam Tevy behind a guy like Joe Barksdale, Alex Kappa can at least compete for a right tackle spot. That's more his spot anyway. And can come in and hopefully take that right tackle spot in 2019, next year. Developmental guy, but a lot of potential, and I think fits the Chargers system the best. A guy that, you know how the Chargers like to get out and run a little bit more now, more of an athletic tackle there, right tackle. So I love Hines, but I think the biggest value there in the 4th is a potential starting right tackle, maybe even this year, but probably 2019. So I'm going to say Kappa.
All right, Kyle, who you got?
I'm going to say Josie Jewell. The reason that I say that is because we're still at a point where he can come on the field and just play right away. Like Gus wants people that will play fast, not that just are fast, but will play fast. People will give you shit because like Saquon Barkley ate him up. Oh no! But like you want a guy that will be a tackling machine. That's what he is. A sure tackler. That's what he is. But as much as like he had some poor angles or poor plays against Barkley, like if you watch all of his games, like just his season in general, he gets in the passing lane. He can play all down. 11 pass breakups this year, 2 picks. But there were plays where like he easily gets that, he easily gets to the spot, and he just cleans up tackles and scraping. Judging by how the draft has gone so far, you got Hurst in front of him, man. You got Nadi, you got Mebane. He's going to be clean. He's going to be able to make plays for you. So I think that Jewell will be just another guy that you can put on the field right away.
So this is the first time we've had 3 separate picks. High effort guy, which is good.
He's a coach's son, probably.
Yeah, high motor, huge football IQ with Jewell.
First one in, last one out.
Yeah. So Stanley, this is going to come down to you. 3 separate guys.
All right. So
are you going with either one of these 3?
Hey, Kyle, you just got super loud again. Actually, I think I have the power. I can mute Kyle when he's not talking.
You have the power.
So, Kyle, I'll unmute you in a second. But all right, so
nah, you don't have to unmute him. That's cool.
I forgot I have that power. So I do really like Alex Kappa. I think he also offers that versatility that he can, like they had him at senior. At guard at the Senior Bowl a couple times, and he did pretty well. He's been training with Duke Manyweather, who is a offensive lineman stud. What's good about Duke is Duke really, really focuses on technique. And for a guy like Kappa, who's not huge, I think he's barely at 300 pounds. He has good size. He's at like 6'5", but he's barely at 300 pounds. So techniques can be really important for him. But he's hyper aggressive. He's working on his technique, which he already, had pretty good technique. I really like what he brings. But I like Josie Jewell. My pick here would be Josie Jewell because he reminds me a lot of a guy that I really loved a few years ago in Ben Heaney out of Kansas. He's a guy that makes a ton of tackles. He's a highly intelligent player. So he makes up for the fact that he's not the most athletic guy because his first step is usually in the right direction. And he's just, he would really shore up this linebacking crew. And looking at last season, the Chargers offense was really good, but these positions that we've been drafting on defense right up the middle that really hurt the Chargers over and over again. If they could have stopped the run better, in a couple games, that would have turned the tide. And I think at this point in the draft, I think you'd get more snaps out of a guy like Josie Jewell this year and next year than you would out of an Alex Kappa. And honestly, I'm just kind of hoping that Alex Kappa drops one more round. So I think the pick is going to be Josie Jewell.
Okay. I know it won't sway you. Go ahead and make the pick, but I just want to remind you that Ben Heaney's played 5 games in 4 years. So
okay,
the guy that you,
so
you love.
He's Ben Heaney without the injury concerns. That's what's been hurting Ben Heaney.
And also Duke is awesome, and I love his analysis on Twitter and stuff. But he also worked with DJ Fluker this offseason.
Just this offseason, though. This is the first offseason that Fluker's worked with him.
Oh, I thought he had him last year. No,
he didn't work with him. Okay. He worked on his own again last year.
Oh, okay. Hey, all right. Well, I'm not hating on Duke. I'm just saying.
I don't think Kyle can hear us, by the way.
No, you just got headphones.
All right, so
you put a little message on there saying he can hear us.
I think Kyle muted himself because it won't let me unmute him now.
Huh.
All righty.
We don't need him.
Okay.
So, he already got his Iowa kid. I mean, let's just go on. And a Florida State guy. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. After Jewel went, Hamilton went, who's a guy I really like, actually.
Kappa's gone.
Yep. Kappa. He was the last pick of the 4th, the last regular pick of the 4th. But you guys will have to know Naheem on it too. All right, so a lot of
really cutting out of me, man.
Himes went?
Yeah, Himes. All right, so let's go ahead and hit start on the 5th round.
Hey, it was cutting out, man. Is Hines there or no?
Oh, looks like I'm frozen here. All right, can you guys hear me again?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hines just went in the 4th. All right, so I hit start on the 5th round again. So we're through the list. So real quick again at the end of the last round, Alex Kappa went, Hines went, Kalen Ballage went. So we're at our pick in the 5th round. What positions do you guys want to look at? Tackle now?
Tackle and running back would be the 2 I want to look at first.
All right, so Desmond Harrison's there. Noteboom's there. Brett Toth is a name I've seen projected to the Chargers a bunch. I only don't like that pick because, I think the 5th round's a little too high, but also, they got rid of the rule in the military that lets academy kids go straight into the NFL and defer their military service. They have to serve at least 1 year now. Actually, I think it's at least 2 years now. So drafting a guy like that really hurts Brett Toth because he's not going to be NFL eligible for at least 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't watched. Let's see, I haven't watched any of those guys.
All right,
Jalen Samuels is a running back here, huh?
Yep. All right, so we got Wadley there. We got Joe Scarborough. Josh Adams is a guy I've seen thrown around a little bit. Philip Lindsay, I've seen his name come up a couple times. Let's see, wide receiver. No real names there. Antonio Callaway, he's one of those interesting guys, kind of like who's the guy last year out of
Tyreek Hill?
No, the guy with a lot of character red flags out of Baylor.
Ishmael?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a better receiver.
Yeah, Callaway, if he didn't have as horrific of an off-field stuff as he did, I mean, he'd be in the first, second kind of guy. So, Jamon Moore, I know a lot of people like Jamon. I know a lot of people like Jamon Moore. What's safety look like? I know they got one in the 2nd round, but what's safety look like?
So here's safety.
Because really they have Phillips, they have Watkins. Both those guys are on 1-year deals still, right? I mean, those guys are there. AJ Hendy, who's a nobody. So they have Jenkins, Adai, and now Reed. So they only have 3 guys there right now.
Trayvon Henderson seems like a Chargers guy.
discuss production.
We got the Troy Apke who made Deion Sanders show his racism at the combine.
We were like a 4.37 or something like that.
Yeah, he had the best safety time at the combine.
He blew like every event out of the water.
Yeah. He is an athlete first. I watched his tape, and he's like never around the ball. For how fast he is shockingly transparent. Like he's never around the ball.
Yeah, I think these guys. Although I agree on Trayvon Henderson, is probably someone who probably grabbing the 6 or 7 though. So.
Oh yeah.
Edge
guys. All right, Kyle Pitts is there. The Chargers worked him out.
Doesn't mean he's good.
He's a guy that could.
If the Chargers worked him out, you know he's not good.
He's a guy who I think he would benefit with being around Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, because to me, when I watched his tape, I think the thing that hurt him most is a lack of pass rushing moves. He didn't really know what to do with his hands. And so he won on basically just bull rushes and athleticism.
Yeah, I think if he hangs around Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, it'd be a great learning tool on how to jump off sides on 3rd and 4.
What's there at tight end? Only because they're only married to 2 guys in the roster right now. Sean Colkin and Brandon Bowman are not nothing. It's going to keep them from drafting somebody. So.
I like Sean Colkin. You shut your mouth.
Yeah,
I do too. I'm just saying. I mean,
ooh,
he's
Smythe
not
isn't
married to
bad,
the kid.
though. I don't know if he's the best player here.
This is a good blocker, but not for the 5th.
How are we looking at running back?
So running back, Bo Scarborough is still there. Josh Adams is there. Petaway's there. Wadley's there.
I actually think Ito Smith is the best player.
I like Ito Smith a lot.
Smith.
I think Jalen Samuels kind of fits. He's like a running back tight end hybrid, which would be a nice.
They could probably play him in the 2 tight end sets too.
Dimitri Flowers is there, who's a guy that we've talked about being that kind of hybrid fullback tight end.
Trying to filibuster on fullbacks. Let's just go ahead.
Hey, Stanley, who's there a kicker, huh?
No, I'm waiting till the 6th round to say we should.
Now, the Florida dude. What are we waiting on? Pull the trigger.
All right, so
that's the 6th round pick.
So what is everybody looking at here?
All right, so Stebbins, let's start with you. Is there any position you want to see, or do you know who you want here?
It feels like there's a lot of guys I'd be okay taking in the 6th, but I'm not a fan of a lot of these guys here in the 5th.
Or actually one position we haven't looked at? Do they double down on linebacker? They've got Avery there, who could be an edge guy. Sitchy's still there. Yeah. Sky Moore's there.
So okay, so
I think they worked out that Clemson dude, by the way.
Oh, Daniel.
I swear that they're associated with him in some way.
Oh,
maybe
look at that.
Maybe it was at their pro day.
So let me ask the question then. So we grabbed Josie Jewell. I don't know if you saw we got Jewell in the 4th, Kyle, but where do you guys see Josie playing then?
So he can play like Mike, I think so anyways. But I mean, you'd probably, in an ideal world, you just put Perriman back to Mike. Let Josie just kind of be free and scrape. But I don't know if they put Perriman at Mike just to like keep him healthy. It really worked last year. But yeah, I don't know, man. I would just kind of put him on the field. It's tough just because of all the motion. They're going to play on the strong and weak side engine.
Yeah, because if you're going to stick him at Mike, then grabbing a Avery, who's kind of more of an edge, who could probably play Sam, wouldn't be a bad pick here.
That would make sense. Where do you guys see Sitchy?
I kind of like him, but again, I think my sticking point is I don't think that the Chargers are going to take somebody with medical red flags like that.
Yeah. In the 5th, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, like if we're drafting on upside, maybe we'll do this in reverse right now. Looking at who's on the board, I know it's not the biggest need, but I might be tempted here if he's in the 5th to take Jannard Avery. I really like him, and I think as a pass rushing guy, you can put him in there, and he's gonna do He's not going to replace McCain. He's not a guy you can put on the line, but he's a guy that you can throw out on the outside. And if I saw flashes of him doing well in coverage. He definitely has the athleticism. It's just a matter of, knowing where to put himself. But there was a couple plays where he put himself in such good position that, he was matched up on slot receivers and had a couple pass breakups.
Is this a situation where he could? So I don't have like a great feel for him, but I mean I know his stats are just like ridiculous. So is this a situation where they can just play in that dime, get all their fast guys on the field at the same time?
I would do that. I would, if you put him in dime and had like Phillips, Avery, Dutavis all on the field at the same time, that makes you can do a lot of stuff with that with that lineup.
What was his 40 in vertical?
I think his 40 was like a 4.55.
It was a 4.59, and his vert was 36.
And he's 255 pounds.
Yeah, and he's 200. He's thick. He's 255 pounds.
Yeah. So you sold me.
Yeah, I'm good with Avery actually. That sounds like a good pick right there in the 5th.
Yeah, so he had a 10-foot 4-inch broad jump, a 36-inch vert, 4.59 in the 40, ran a 6.9 3-cone, and put up 26 reps at 225 at 255 pounds, 6'1". He has ginormous hands. He's got 10 and 1/8 inch hands.
And it's not like he's
good
all
combo.
out. He had 22 tackles for loss and 8 sacks.
Yeah, his stats were super impressive, and not just this year.
Yeah, take him and see where he fits. I'm good with that.
He's like Jatavis Brown if he actually went to the weight room. Got
Yeah.
What's your thoughts here, Garrett?
Yeah, this is tough. I mean,
is there a position you want me to pull up on the screen?
Yeah, give me running back. Oh yeah, we already went through running back. No, I don't want to take a running back. Yeah, I think it really comes down to Sisti or Avery for me. And the injury history concerns me with Sisti. I mean, he's almost 2 years off of football, but he had a pretty good pro day. And there was talks like 2 years ago that he would be one of the like a first, second round linebacker if it weren't for all the injuries. So I think Sisti is more suited for a strong side, though Avery is also an edge. So I guess I would give Avery. I'm going to give Avery the edge only because of the athleticism, and I love the big muscular frame, and of course, obviously the athleticism too. So I guess let's go ahead and double down on linebacker here.
All right.
That was not the plan, by the way. I did not think
that was not the plan either.
This was
at all.
the way to go.
The board definitely felt weird there.
Yeah, it did not feel like there was a lot of guys there. There's a lot that I would have wanted in the 6th, but nothing that was feeling good in the 5th.
Mm-hmm. So I think I like Ito Smith here in the 6th.
Yeah, I'm all for going offense on this one, whether it's running back. I don't know if there is on the offensive line.
Right, so you can. Oh yeah, I was going to say you can mute him. Sanat would have been good there. No need to double down on safety. No need to double down on a triple down on an interior defensive lineman.
I think we're actually done looking at defense at this point.
Unless there's a corner. But yeah.
All right, so we're at our pick in the 6th round.
There's Puna.
But we've already got Nandi.
Yeah. Not that I'm just saying he's available.
Take another one. I'm kidding.
All right, so since you mentioned it, we'll just look at corner real quick.
Oh yeah, no, okay. So we're not doing defense, I guess. I wouldn't take any of these guys.
Nope. All right, so let's look at running back.
Kelly though, I saw Cameron Kelly at the bottom, maybe, but I'm not ready to take him.
Okay. All right, so running back.
Running back and wide receiver.
All right, we've got Petaway, Wadley, Ito Smith is there. You guys have been kind of pounding the table for him.
Yep.
Wide receiver, we have.
Oh, Corey Robertson's there.
Oh,
ooh,
Kyle's gonna pound this. All right, let me unmute Kyle now that we mentioned Corey Robertson.
Yeah. I think
Actually,
I've already got
Kyle,
my
I think
6
you
and
have to unmute
7.
yourself. It's not letting me unmute you.
So I think you go running back here. Ito Smith is my pick.
Let's just pick Southern Mississippi players in the last couple of
All right, so Garrett, your pick is Ito Smith. Stebbins, he pound on the table.
I haven't seen him yet, but I'm all for going running back. Can you go back to running backs again?
Yeah, man. Ito's a nice change of pace back. Oh, man, say that loud.
Yeah.
Ito's a nice change of pace back. Good, reliable pass catcher there on third down. Good vision. He's dangerous in the open field and could easily be a return man too. But adding a speed demon as an RB3 is huge. So I would definitely take Ito Smith here.
Yeah,
Right.
the two on there, the two high ones that I've seen. No, three I've seen Lindsey, Petway, Wadley, and Lindsey. I'm not big on. So if you're going to Ito Smith and you're saying he's a speed guy, I'll take him. I'm good with that.
Yeah, let's see what his 40 was.
All right, while you guys are looking that up,
about his
while you're looking that up, Kyle, unmute yourself. Corey, is Corey your vote here?
So Ito Smith ran a 4.45. He jumped 36 and a half. Like if you so Garrett's watching. If you guys have seen him, like there's games where he legit just like breaks runs. He will take a swing pass and just like break it. He has, I don't want to say like tremendous game breaking speed, but he can run away from dudes.
Does Ito?
He's a good football player. They had a couple of players. Obviously, I like Corey Robinson. He's not going to separate too well, but he gives me a James Jones plus 5. He's going to eat up contested catches. He's going to just be super reliable. He's kind of crafty after the catch. And when it comes to just making plays, I guess is the best way to put it. 50-50 ball guy and can make him look silly after the catch. I like him a lot. But all that being said, man, I would say Ito Smith can probably just help you.
So your vote's Ito Smith?
Yeah, just because Corey Robinson. When is he going to get on the field? You don't want to like pray for injuries.
Yep. All right. So I'll just go ahead and make it unanimous. I like Ito too. I would like Corey Robertson because I think the Chargers need to start having a plan. Like they're obviously not married to Tyrell Williams yet, and we still don't know what we have in Mike Williams. But I think Ito Smith probably gets on the field more this season than Corey does. And if you can find a guy that's going to get on the field and contribute in the 6th round, I say pull the trigger.
I think it's been a pretty solid draft so far.
I would really like this draft. I would.
The one thing we're missing is tackle, but I think going into 2017, you just roll with Joe Barksdale and Sam Tevy, and let Michael Schofield take spot duty as well, and just take a tackle later. Maybe you can hit on an undrafted free agent, but I don't think there's a tackle worth taking after Kappa fell off the board in the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, you're taking a flyer on somebody who shouldn't be drafted that high anyway. So yeah.
Schofield did really well last year. I mean, he looked better than Barksdale in stretches last year.
Tevy didn't do bad either. So
yep.
I mean, considering where he was drafted and everything.
We're in the 7th round.
I can't believe T. Gray Scales is still there.
Oh shit! Damn. Are we going 3 linebackers?
See, I didn't even know T. Gray Scales was there. I probably would have taken him over. Well, it didn't matter. I would have been outvoted for Avery, but
he just went.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have taken a 3rd linebacker.
there's your Brett Toth. He just went to the Steelers. Of course he did.
All right, so I'm going to start this off, and I say
here we go.
What took so long to get here?
So the Chargers are down to only 3 kickers on the roster, which that's obviously a hole. And
I think it's 2 now, actually.
Oh, that's right, because Rose left. Yeah. So it's just Aguayu and what's his name?
Sturgis.
Yeah, Sturgis. I like Pinheiro. I think he's got a hell of a leg. And he's consistent is what I like the most. And he's consistent at distance, which is what's really hurt the Chargers. And by distance, I mean anything over 40 yards. In the last 2 years, I think if I remember right, he only has 3 misses past 40 yards, and that's off like 20 plus kicks of 40 yards or more. So he's really consistent from distance. He's got a good leg. He can boom kickoffs. He can, I think in the 7th round, it's worth taking a guy who I legitimately think can go in and beat the other 2 guys out and be your kicker. And they've constantly said in press releases that they're looking for a young kicker who can grow with the team. And so, I like Pinheiro.
Can you go to wide receivers?
Yep. All right, so wide receivers, here you go.
Okay, so I'm on the 7th, and we can make this quick, but I think I would take a swing on Corey Robertson here. And I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to find a better play on the board here. I mean, good size and strength. I like him at the first, second levels. Pretty good possession receiver. Could turn into something, and I think there's a lot of question marks at the wide receiver area. Would he ever get in the field? Who knows? But I think it's worth taking a swing in the last round of the draft.
He's like Keenan Allen if he's fat.
Oh Lord.
just looking at wide receiver depth. If you go beyond this season, there's not. I mean, you have Allen. You have. Who knows about Tyrell? Who knows about Travis Benjamin? You have Mike Williams. So wide receiver is going to be a need next year at least for sure. So getting a wide receiver here, I think, is the pick. I would have gone Richie James. He just went to the Carolina Panthers. Big fan of his. I know he's a smaller dude, but he just went. So I'm good with going Corey Robertson if you guys are a fan of his. Again, I haven't seen any of his tape, but I'm a fan of his over anyone else on the board that I know. So.
I was pretty high. I was pretty high on Isaiah Ford last year, but Isaiah Ford was frail and he was not very explosive. Corey Robertson can clearly jump and go win those 50-50 balls, and he doesn't have a problem with strength. Or does he have issue with guys direct all over him and he just makes contested catches?
All right, so the pick is Corey Robertson.
Back-to-back Southern Miss.
Yep.
Football Factory.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, man.
All right, so our draft haul here. Let me scroll down. All right, so our draft haul was Maurice Hurst in the first, Justin Reed, safety in the second, defensive tackle Derek Nandi in the third, Josie Jewell at linebacker in the fourth, Jannard Avery at linebacker in the fifth, Ito Smith at running back in the sixth, and Corey Robertson in the seventh. I like this draft. If it turned out like this, I would be rather excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing you complain about is not getting a tackle, but I think you got everything else filled.
Yeah, I think it's, like you said, tackle is the biggest thing, but I think they have enough in place to make it through this year, like you said, with Heavy and Schofield and Barksdale obviously still on the roster, so they probably like him enough to stay this year. So I think there's enough there on right tackle to make it through the season. And going forward, look at that next offseason. But yeah, this draft's really damn good. They put in a lot of youth into the defense there to match what they did last draft with DBs they got. Man, I like this draft quite a bit.
I like it just because they got an impact player in Josie Jewell and a couple other guys that can fill out on the roster.
All right, so Stebbins, we'll start with you. If you were going to give a grade to this draft, what would your grade be?
Man, they got Nadi and Hurst, two of my favorite guys. I got to go A-. 1, 2, with the first 5 picks, most likely are going to be instant impact guys. Like that's Avery to a lesser extent, probably, but getting 5 instant impact guys on a draft, that's something else. Yeah, I go with A-.
So why you say that? Say what's your biggest issue? Like so, Garrett said, not getting attacked. What do you think your biggest gripe is?
I'm sorry, man, you cut out. What's up?
So what's your biggest gripe here? So like Garrett said, not getting tackled. So what do you think is the biggest issue with what we do?
I'm not a big fan of the safeties going forward. I know that they got Reed, but after Reed you have Adai, Jenkins, Phillips, Watkins, and Hendy. Like there's not a lot there. So I would have liked to have gotten another safety in the later rounds as well, but that's a minor issue. I mean, you're talking about a later round safety. So I don't know how much of an issue that can really be. So other than tackle and then like I would have gotten a later round safety, it's a really good draft.
All right, Garrett, why don't you give us your grade?
Yeah, I think Stebbins is right. When you can get 5 guys who were starters right away that could fill in. I mean, I know Jannard Avery might be a little bit of a projection because Kyle Emanuel will probably be the Sam, but I think you could work Avery into packages, and I think you can get him snaps right away. Josie Jewell's a starter. Noddy, you're looking towards the future. And when you get, like when you're looking at Mebane, he's got his snaps when decreased, he does much better. So if he's on a snap count and you're getting him less snaps and you're getting Noddy more time, by the next year, you've got Noddy as your starting 0-1, and then you've got Maurice Hurst, who's your starting 3 tech and may not start. He's going to obviously get some playing time, but if you think that maybe Legit or Phylon get starter minutes, which I hope isn't the case, you've got Hurst, who will be the starter next year. You've got Justin Reed, who can easily fill in Trey Boston's spot. And then Ito Smith getting lots of speed in your RB3, something that this team's kind of missing. And I think, honestly, Ito can start competing with Eckler as RB2. I think if everything hits right, I think Ito Smith is a really, really good player. Corey Robertson's a swing, but I think a swing worth taking. You got another possession receiver that I think could win. May not start right away, but I give this an A. I can't complain about it. Not getting a quarterback, you can't help it because everybody went before 17. So I guess you can complain about that. Getting a second safety, maybe. Tackle, obviously the biggest gripe. But other than that, this is an A for me.
All right, Kyle, go ahead and unmute yourself and give us your grade.
I was just trolling, and I'm so mad that I was muted.
Were you saying shit?
I guess if you're complaining about day 3 picks, man, I mean, if you're mad that a team didn't take a guy on day 3, I mean, come on, man. What are we even doing? I think I wonder, like in this draft, if we would look back in 2 years and be like, damn, we should have taken Naeem Hines over Joseph. Just because, like we always talk about explosive plays, field position. Like Hines can, with like as much as I think Ito Smith can contribute, Hines can like give you valuable possessions. He could take a damn kick return. He can take the opening kick and turn it back on the opening season. He is that fast. That would be like the only gripe that I would really have. Obviously, I think he probably should have snagged a tackle that can at least push Barksdale and not make him feel comfortable, because Schofield is not going to push Barksdale. I mean, the only way that Schofield's going to on the field is an injury. But besides that, man, just going down the list, we got some very, very good players and some big players that are going to help.
So a common complaint here has been from all of us has been that we didn't get a tackle. Looking at the board here, and so let's look at the top of the second round. Tyrell Crosby went 3rd in the second round. If Tyrell Crosby's still on the board at the top of 2, do you think that the Chargers value that position enough to pull off to do another one of Telesco's trades and send a 4th away to move up and try and grab a Tyrell Crosby if he's still there?
No. I think they like him, but I don't think they love him that much. I don't think they would trade up.
I feel I get the picture that they're higher on Barksdale.
Okay. All right, so I didn't get my grade yet.
Yeah.
I'd give this an A minus. Same complaint, no tackle here. They didn't grab a quarterback, but with the guys gone, I mean, with Lamar and everybody else being gone by pick 12, don't reach for a quarterback. That's the worst thing you can do here. You still have Phillip Rivers at the helm. Yeah, you need a quarterback of the future, but if don't reach in the first for a Mason Rudolph like that. I would turn off the draft at that point, and we probably wouldn't be doing a 2nd and 3rd round, a day 2 and 3 show, because I would just be so pissed.
You take your ball and go home, huh?
No, I would take my ball and go home. I mean, if you guys want to do it, go for it. But I I would be so upset. Yeah, I mean,
let me ask you guys this. Okay, let's just remove Hurst from the first round. Who would be a guy that they take in the first round that they could do anything else for the rest of the draft, and you just would not care? You just talk so much shit, just be on the highest of high horses. Who would be that guy for you?
I think the two guys there's two guys that would do that for me. If they reached and took Mason Rudolph in the first, I would be absolutely livid. And I would be slightly less livid, but really, because he's still a decent player, but I am just not buying the hype on Daron Payne. And if Payne went at 17 to the Chargers, I'd be pretty upset.
So who would be the opposite pick for you? Like the opposite of Payne.
Like good, like
right.
Players so good that it wouldn't matter.
They could take a kicker, which you would like anyways, on round 2 through 7.
I mean, obviously, if Quinn Nelson fell, I'd do backflips, but
there you go. Never know, man.
Realistic players, the two guys. I gave two guys for last two. And I think I would be ecstatic if they got either of those guys.
How about you, Stebbs?
You're talking about like in the positive sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Man, Lamar, man, I want him as a quarterback so damn bad. And then if somehow Derwin fell down to them at 17, man, he'd change that damn defense. I love that kid. Him and Lamar, those are my two guys.
Garrett?
Yeah, man, I think Lamar. See, I would love Lamar. I know everybody would hate it, but it'd be hard to talk shit for rounds 2 through 7 because they got a lot of ground to make up. Since Lamar isn't going to be starting right away, they got to hit on a lot of players later on. But Lamar would be fun, and I want to argue with everybody about Vita Vea because that's my dude. I'm not a huge fan of him in the first, only because we saw the depth of Settle and Noddy. But yeah, Vita Vea, Lamar Jackson. I'd like to fight with the internet about that.
Where is Vita on your big board?
On my board?
Yeah.
He's 8th overall.
Oh wow.
Yep, top 10.
So if they take Derwin James, I'm gonna run outside and like you guys know how they do like these ladder drills. I'm gonna sea walk all the way up and down the block.
Oh shit!
Just like screaming at the top of my lungs. I remember in 2005, man. They took Antonio Cromartie, and everybody had these feelings about him. Whatever. I don't give a shit. He was like my favorite player ever. And when they took him, I went nuts. I've been waiting so long for them to take another actual good player. And Derwin would be that guy, man. And I would probably jump on some random stranger's car, just talking so much shit.
All right, so if Derwin is still on the board at like 15, you need to log out of the live show and log back in on your cell phone so that if that happens, you can take us outside.
Yes. Do it for the content, man. Do it for the content.
I will legit. I'll just have like my roommate fucking
selfie stick.
Yeah, just have it up like
this. As this random dude is just on the sidewalk, like, sir, please get off my car.
Right. Unlock the damn car.
Oh man, that'd be good.
All right, so nobody else went around the horn. So Garrett, who is your guy or two? Who's your two guys that if the Chargers drafted, you would take your ball and go home?
Definitely Mason Rudolph. Like Josh Allen, I think I would like turn in my fan card. Like they trade up for Josh Allen. I'm packing it.
They trade up for basically anyone, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm okay with them trading up if like say one of the quarterbacks falls that isn't Josh Allen. One of the top 4 falls past 10, and they move up a couple spots. I'm actually okay with that because that's what they did with Gordon. If you're giving up a 4th and a day 3 pick next year, I'm okay with that. That's not a huge bounty, but who knows what happens at that point. But yeah, Josh Allen, I don't know if I could even support this team anymore. I might be a Jags fan or some shit. But yeah, Mason Rudolph would be bad. Deron Payne, I wouldn't like.
So,
All right, Stebbins, who would you take your ball and go home if they picked?
I mean, I definitely echo the Josh Allen thing. It's funny because where I am in the Central Valley, people are loving Josh Allen. I mean, he's from the Central Valley. He's a fourth-generation farmer's kid and all that, and people are all about him. And I'm like, man, yeah, that's cool, but he sucks at quarterback. like the important part about this is that he's a shit quarterback.
But he's our shitty quarterback.
Yeah.
He's ours. It's like, no, we already got Derek Carr. No, I don't want no Josh Allen. But no. So him, he's an obvious one for me. But another one that people can talk about higher in the first round is Colton Miller, man. I think he's bad. I think he's really bad. I'm thinking like third, fourth round. All this first round talk does not make any sense to me at all. Yeah, not a Colton Miller guy.
Yeah, I think Colton Miller's a guy who he's too tall for his own good. He never really adjusted into how big he is. And so he loses leverage a lot.
Yeah, none of the tackles really excite me at 17.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
looking at what we just did, if you guys just look at what we just did and like the board in the 5th round, would you care if they like sacrificed that 5th round and traded up a couple spots if like a guy fell?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a guy that you really like in the 3rd round, or the and you like want to package around picks 4 and 5 to jump back into the 3rd round for like if there's still a guy there that you really like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean the 5th round felt fifth. Yeah, the 5th round just didn't feel right. Like like I said earlier, it felt like there was a lot of 6th round guys that we were choosing between. If they were getting rid of a 5th, that'd be cool. I wouldn't give up a 4th though. There's too many guys that were good in the 4th, so I agree with up
that. That's why I said 5th. I agree that the board looked pretty nice in the 4th round.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it did. The 5th round felt like no man's land. Like there were guys that just kind of there was no guy that fell that was a 4th rounder that kind of fell to the 5th. It was all just kind of late day 3 guys all clustered in the 5th round.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, anybody have any final thoughts?
No, I'm good. I can't wait for draft day.
How realistic do you guys think this was? Like, do you think this is something that, like, looking at who we did take for the Chargers, do you think there's anyone that's like, oh, there's no way they're going to go that route? There's no way they're going to look that way.
I guess we got.
I'm not trying to get information from Kyle. I'm just saying in general. It doesn't have to be the 1st round pick.
I mean,
I'm not cracking, man.
I think the only thing that's a little unrealistic is I don't know if they double down on defensive line and linebacker. I could see them doubling down on one of those 2 positions, and then I also don't think I could probably see them going nothing but defense on days 1 and 2, but I don't think they'd wait until the 6th round to grab an offensive player. I think that they're going to cave there and they're going to have fallen in love with some random tight end and they're going to take him in the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. I don't know how realistic it is because it feels like Josie Jewell feels like a Charger for sure. But like, a lot of defensive tackles, safeties, running backs and stuff, that's all day 3. I mean, I know we took a day 3 running back, but like defensive tackle, safeties, like they're not looking at any of the, higher echelon day 1, day 2 guys. I mean, linebacker, they're more looking in the first 3 rounds. So to get one in the 5th, I don't know. I'm not sure. I obviously I don't know who the top 5 Kyle has, but yeah,
Mason Rudolph, Josh Allen, Kyle.
Stanley,
Colton Miller.
No. But like all this talk about them not valuing safeties and all that stuff. Like, do you think they would actually take a safety in the 2nd round, or do you think that's not something they would even look at doing?
I mean, based on the safeties that were there, I don't see how you can argue to pass up on those guys. I mean, safety, especially not bringing Trey Boston back, you're not going to stick Rayshon Jenkins in that Trey Boston role. And as much as we've hated on Jaleel Adai, he's not bad as that more box safety. And so you're not going to force him now to go over to free safety and then let Rayshon Jenkins play in the box. So, I mean, that's a hole you have to fill, not bringing Trey Boston back. And if you don't feel like, I mean, obviously they have a better feel for whether, if they pass on that in the draft, or that, do they have Trey Boston on the phone? And after the draft, they're like, all right, we have the cap space, we'll give you kind of what you're asking for. I just, I don't think in the first they go safety, but if those guys are on the board, if you've got Jesse Bates, Harrison, and Reed staring you at in the face in the second round, I don't see how you can pass on that.
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
We'll see. I mean, it would go against their MO, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, they traded up for Manti Te'o, so.
Yeah, they did.
And Atauchu. Don't forget.
How many of the guys that we take were team captains? That's the real question.
Ooh.
They love them the team captains.
Yeah. Was Josie a team captain, Kyle? I'm sure he was. He's white. Let me see.
What?
Was Josie Jewell a team captain?
Of course he was.
Then
there you go.
Also a coach's son.
He was named team's most valuable player, of course. But was he a team captain?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I saw him at his pro day, and he was moving a lot better than people would have.
Wait. So I don't know what this means. Maybe you can tell me, Kyle. But Derek Nottie was named Thod captain instead of team. What the hell is Thod captain?
Thought?
Yeah, that's what I thought he said.
S-O-D.
Like, all right, Nottie.
Why the hell are we talking about him at 17?
Thod captain. Oh, apparently he cut out a chunk of field turf. Okay, I got it. He cut out the fucking Florida field.
Yeah, he probably ate
Oh
it too.
yeah, so Jewel is definitely team captain.
Yeah, I feel like he led them in tackles like every year.
Justin Reed was a team captain in high school.
There you go. Good enough.
He led the Big Ten in tackles with 136. Woo-wee. All right. Okay, well, I think we're good. Anybody got anything else to add?
No, I think that's good. Thanks again, everybody, for everybody who tuned in to watch. Obviously, next weekend, we're also going to be adding Michael Peterson. We may undate.
You don't have to.
Yeah. Come see Kyle Posey and Michael Peterson go toe-to-toe. 3 hours. Thursday.
And if anyone wants to donate to the fund to buy Kyle Posey a 9-volt battery for his smoke detector that's been chirping this whole time.
No, there's honestly no chance that I'm gonna, like, everybody says that, and that just makes me not want to change it. I don't know what do you think is gonna happen if you tell me that? Do you think I'm gonna rush to change it, or do you think I'm gonna ignore it even more? Come on.
Why does it not surprise me at all?
I could easily just take it down right now, but that's just not an option.
My statement stands. If anyone wants to donate to buy Kyle Posey a 9-volt battery, you can Venmo me.
All right.
Yeah, Venmo Stanley. He'll get Kyle the money.
Yeah, all right. Why not Venmo me? What the fuck, man?
I'm trustworthy. I bought Michael Peterson a microphone so that he can join us and not be on his cell phone.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
So I'll give you guys one more hint, and I'll give you a one-word hint on one of the 5 players. So, this is so stupid. The word is Kobe.
Kobe.
You take it from there. That's all I got. That's all I'm giving you.
All right, so
I wrote it down.
Thank you for that. Where would we be without you?
So today's clues are the word Kobe. It's probably not a quarterback, and it's not an offensive tackle.
It's not. Well, they got to start right away, so it's not a quarterback for sure. And he already said it's not a tackle, and it's not win.
You know, a kicker could start right away, so kicker's not off the board.
So could a running back.
I mean, it could technically be tight end too, since they still refuse to give Hunter Henry snaps.
Okay, so we got 4 clues today. It feels like Sesame Street. Kobe, no offensive tackle, no QB, not win.
Yep,
All right.
that's good.
Got it
So
all down here.
adjust your boards accordingly.
Yep.
All right, everybody, go enjoy your Friday night, and thanks again for tuning in. And we will see you guys on Thursday night. We'll probably start. What sounds good to you guys? You guys want to start like half an hour before the draft?
Yeah, sounds good. What time is it?
Yeah.
What time does it start?
I don't remember.
Probably 5 or 5:30 Pacific.
There's a strong chance I'll be late either way. So.
Kyle will join us in progress. We won't wait for him next time.
I like pick 15.
I'm sure his cell phone will be in his hand, so he'll have something for us.
Yeah. Let's see. Round 1, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern, so 5 o'clock Pacific.
All right, so 4:30 Pacific time on Thursday. We'll be online and start getting you guys warmed up.
Yep. We'll
Cool.
repost this video and we'll have a podcast for this too.
Yeah, we're gonna so the video will remain on the article on Bolts from the Blue, and then we'll rip the audio and post it as a podcast.
Yep. All right, guys.
Cool.
See you next week, guys.
See you
Later, guys.
Thursday.
See ya.